Alexander the Great is celebrated as one of the most legendary figures in history, the brilliant conqueror who built an empire that stretched from Greece to India. But was he really as great as we've been told? Behind the grand victories and the expansion of his empire lies a much darker story. Alexander's campaigns were marked by extreme violence, destruction, and the subjugation of countless cultures. Entire cities were razed, and many innocent lives were lost in the pursuit of his ambition. Moreover, his empire was short-lived, crumbling soon after his death. Was Alexander's legacy truly one of greatness, or did his thirst for power cause more harm than good? In this video, we'll dive into the lesser-known facts of his reign and challenge the myth of Alexander the Great. Get ready to see the conqueror in a whole new light. Today's tale is of a great warrior princess who forced Alexander the Great, the so-called conqueror of the world, to flee the battlefield. Princess Karvika, who hailed from the Katha Republic, a renowned state in ancient Punjab, was born around 1,000 years ago. Her personality was extremely impressive, embodying both the grace and the fierce power of the goddess Bhavani herself. She was not just an introduction to brilliance, but a master of weapons and scriptures alike. There wasn't a single weapon in the royal armory that Princess Karvika was unfamiliar with. It is said that Princess Karvika had no interest in jewelry, gems, or physical beauty. Her only love was for her motherland. While other children spent their childhood playing with dolls, the great Karvika spent hers in the armory, learning the art of warfare from a very young age. By her teenage years, she had mastered many forms of combat. She not only learned all types of warfare, but also studied strategic formations. Among the various war techniques she learned were yantra mukti warfare, utilizing weapons like bows and arrows to strike the enemy in multiple ways; panar mukti warfare, throwing handheld weapons like spears, some of which were coated with explosive materials; tanktha warfare, fighting blindfolded, using both hands; hastastra warfare, swinging a sword at lightning speed; nyuddha, engaging in unarmed combat, which today is known as martial arts. Besides being skilled in warfare, she had a remarkable love for her people. Disguised as an ordinary girl, she would often visit her subjects to listen to their problems and find solutions. At a young age, she even formed an all-women's army called the Chandi Sena. The Katha Republic was flourishing under peaceful rule, but soon a dark cloud in the form of Alexander began to loom over India. The king of the small Macedonian kingdom harbored grand dreams and marched towards India, aiming for world conquest. He either subdued or allied with Indian kings, and his next target was the Katha Republic, where Princess Karvika was waiting with her army of valor. Upon hearing that Alexander was planning to attack the Katha Republic, Princess Karvika called upon her all-women army with the battle cry, "Victory to Mother Rakta Chandika." Her Chandi Sena comprised around 1,300 mounted warriors, 3,500 foot soldiers, some archers and spear-wielding warriors, bringing the total force to around 8,500 women warriors. She informed her army of Alexander's impending attack, and the entire force prepared for battle. Princess Karvika was eager to demonstrate the power of her Chandi Sena. Alexander, having never before seen such a powerful representation of feminine strength, underestimated her. With his army of 500,000 soldiers, he marched towards the Katha Republic, facing Karvika's army of only 8,500 warriors. Princess Karvika devised a clever and precise strategy. She decided to lure Alexander's forces out of their strong positions, weakening them on the battlefield. This tactic was later adopted by many foreign military leaders, particularly Chinese warriors, and became known as "lure the tiger out of the den" in English. According to this plan, Princess Karvika's troops first launched a volley of arrows at Alexander's camp, scattering his forces. When Alexander heard about this attack, he ordered his army to advance. Princess Karvika, using the hilly terrain to her advantage, sent a small detachment of 1,000 troops. Despite being heavily outnumbered, her forces created such an uproar that Alexander's 35,000 soldiers were overwhelmed. Using the echoing sounds of their battle cries, Karvika's army tricked Alexander's soldiers into believing they were facing a much larger force. Alexander's troops fell into confusion, and the princess's army swiftly defeated them. Frustrated, Alexander sent another contingent of 40,000 soldiers, this time employing a brutal war strategy. In response, Princess Karvika used the Brumjal strategy, which is known as deception in English. She divided her forces, sending 150 soldiers in two directions while releasing horses to create confusion. The rest of her army was strategically placed in the north and central areas. The commotion created by the horses misled Alexander's army into believing that Karvika's forces were attacking from the east and south. In this chaos, Karvika's warriors unleashed a deadly rain of fire upon the enemy, defeating Alexander's second contingent as well. Infuriated, Alexander himself led a final force of 75,000 soldiers. This time, he faced Princess Karvika directly. She used an army formation strategy, where the army's size could be concealed. By utilizing this formation, Karvika kept Alexander from realizing the true strength of her forces until the very end. Her army wreaked havoc on Alexander's forces, and in this fierce battle, Karvika's sword severely wounded Alexander, slashing through his arm and stomach. Assuming the form of the goddess Mahishasura Mardini, Princess Karvika drove Alexander out of Sind. Alexander, wounded and humiliated, apologized to the princess, promising never to attack again and paying a hefty fine before retreating. In this final battle, of the 500 warrior women, 2,700 attained martyrdom. Despite such heroic acts, the names of these brave women have been largely forgotten, with only a few documents, such as the political history of ancient Babylon, providing evidence of their deeds. The question remains, why is the story of this great Indian warrior princess missing from Indian history? Stay connected to learn about more such incredible women warriors. Thank you for watching the video.